Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Green Street Stadium, John Sistone Field, for tonight's final regular season home game for the Akron City Football Club as they take on the Southern Indiana Guardians, who they played Friday night over in Southern Indiana and came away with a 5-1 win. Tonight, we'll tell everything. We win tonight, we're in the playoffs with a chance to host a first-round game on July 10th at 7 o'clock against either, there's three teams still fighting out for third and fourth, and that would be the Michigan Rangers, the Cleveland Football Club, and Flower City Union.
This is a season of firsts for Akron City. Every game, more wins, more points. Now a chance to qualify for the playoffs, chance to host a playoff game. It just keeps coming and coming, and Akron City fans just keep getting more and more, and they want more.
So we're about ready to get started. Both teams are on the field. Unfortunately, Southern Indiana brought 11 players.
11 and a half, maybe.
If they get a red card, whoa. But they have no subs. The only blessing is tonight it's very cool. It's 67 degrees right now. We got a wind. It feels like a fall football, high school football night.
This does. This feels like the fall, and it's complete contrast to what we had the last few home games where we nearing 100 degrees with Ohio humidity. So this, you don't have to worry about that. That's one thing that Southern Indiana has going for them. They're not going to run out of gas from the heat, but it might be a case of, does Akron City pressure them and just try and run them out of the stadium from pressure?
So in a game that was played earlier that a lot of people here at Akron City had their eyes on, the Michigan Rangers Steel City game, which just finished maybe about an hour ago, that ended up in a 3-3 tie. That was a good game. Steel City took the lead in the 81st minute on a penalty kick, and 4 minutes later, Michigan came back and tied her back up at 3-3, and it ended that way, a 3-3 tie. So
that game had a lot of ramifications for Akron City if Michigan could have pulled it out.
If Michigan could have pulled the win out and Akron City would win out, we would have a chance at finishing number one based on points. We had a chance.
Yeah. So you're telling me there's a chance.
Well, there's still a chance that we can end up tied on points, but we would lose the number one seed on aggregate because Steel City beat us 2-1 here.
Tiebreakers.
We'll turn it over to Logan Congrove with the introductions of tonight's starting lineup between Akron City and the Guardians of Southern Indiana.
Let's meet the starters for both squads. First, for the Southern Indiana Guardians. Goalkeeper number 1, Mark Christie. Defender 3, Joseph Benassi. Defender 5, Andrew Beck. Defender 7, Maximus Leroy. Midfielder 8, Lush Hager. Forward number 9, Aaron McMinn. Defender 11, Alexander Oshner. Midfielder 12, Brian McMinn. Midfielder 13, Wabana Matiso. Forward 18, Zardo Leroy. And midfielder 22, Oki Conspali. And now, let's meet the starting 11 for your Akron City FC. Defender from Cleveland State University, number 19, Daniel D.D. Machetta. Attacker from George Mason University, number 27, Kelly Jensen. Defender from Cleveland State University, 24, Danilo Baco. Defender from Cleveland State University, number 17, Quinn Close. Defender from the University of Akron, number 13, Jackson Herbert. Midi from the Ohio State University, number 6, Tommaso Villa. Attacker from Cleveland State University, 22, Giannis Schmidt. Attacker from the University of Akron, number 18, Stefan Dobrjevich. tackler from Syracuse University, number 8, Colin Byros. A tackler from Indiana University, number 9, Super Sam Sarver. And between the pipes this evening for Akron City FC, goalkeeper from Ashland University, number 1, Ty Bowden. Akron City FC is led by assistant coach Colin Fabian, Damien Marchoni, Nesho Ibanez, and your head coach in his second season is Mr. Andy Hogarth. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite you to please stand and gentlemen remove your hats as we play our country's national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner.
All righty, we are back at Sistone Field for tonight's contest between Akron City and Southern Indiana. Once again, Akron took care of Southern Indiana at their place on Friday night, 5-1. Ty Bowden, getting his first start in goal this year. He did play in a wrap-up here earlier in the season, but this is his first start that I can recall this season for Akron City Football Club in a home game. So, be interesting to see how Ty shows up tonight. Yes, we handled Southern Indiana pretty well at their place, 5-1, but, you know, you still got to play the game, and 2 days can be a different story.
It's one of those things that you don't want to take it for granted. You just beat the team 5-1 on the road. Here they are coming in short-staffed. You know, they're a thin roster. You don't want to just sleepwalk your way through it and think you're going to come out of here with a 4-0 win. Just come out, put your foot on the gas, get them early, puts them in the back of the net. Maybe a couple of the Akron City players then can jump the standings for the Golden Boot.
Well, we'd like to see that because right now Stefan Dobrjevich is number 2 in goals scored in the NPSL, and Sam Sarver is number 3. Stefan has 9, and Sam has 7. Koval from Cleveland is leading the league in goals scored with 11. So if we can quote our general manager and owner, Nick Turchin, he would like to see Stefan get 2 and Sudden Sam get 4.
Pad the stat book a little?
Well, hey, this is a game where that's a possibility that it can be done. We'll
it's the last home game of the year, too. Give it to the home fans for the last regular season home game.
Absolutely. A good crowd on hand tonight. And Akron will be wearing their gray and white kits tonight. And there's the kickoff as Akron kicks off for the first half. Schmidt sending a deep ball down to Stefan. Stefan shot, saved by Christie.
Wow. 15 seconds in, you get a shot on net and nearly a rebound.
Sarver making a move, trying to get around, but he couldn't do it. He'll have a throw-in on the far side.
And the first touch by Dobrjevich let him down, too. He kind of had a heavy touch, but recovered it just enough to get something on it. Hit it right at the keeper, though, unfortunately.
Villa with the ball. Lacerda.
I like these gray kits. These
Bacoke.
are sharp.
Lacerda over to Schmidt, near side. Giannis over to Bacoke. That's Lacerda on the left side. Bacoke back to his number 5. He wore 24 in the last home game last week. Sarver trying to make a move, has it knocked away. Villa trying to dummy it, loses it. And coming down the field with it is number 9. That's Aaron McMinn for Southern Indiana. Places it in the middle. Intended for number 13. That's Matesso. Now Schmidt sending a deep ball down the left side to Stefan. Dobrjevich switches fields, trying to get over to Sam Sarver, who was making a run. And it was headed away by Southern Indiana.
That was a good look. Get that just a little higher, and Sam can sneak behind the defense.
Guardians with the ball. Far side. Goes in the middle to Matesso, or check that. That should be Hather. That's Finessi. Back to Bacoke. Bacoke sends it back to Bowden. Over to Bacoke. Bacoke just seeing what he's got. Puts it over to Lacerda. Lacerda taking some space. Now sends it back over to Bacoke. Bacoke off to Schmidt. Schmidt on the far side looking for somebody to make a run. Sarver. Schmidt back to Sarver. Sam with a stutter step takes off down the sideline. Now trying to put it in the middle to Dobrjevich, but it is cleared out by Southern Indiana for an Akron throw-in.
I like Akron. They're playing a little direct here early, but trying to spring Dobrjevich on several balls.
Jana Schmidt with the trap, taking some space. Schmidt moves into the middle. Tried to dump it off to Dobrjevich, a little short. Villa now with the steal. And Southern Indiana gets it back. Now Byro stole it, gave it to Villa. Villa sends it wide. Now it's back to Bacoke, to Byros. So Byros is playing a defensive halfback position as we have Kelly Jansen up front. Coming wide to Groves, and a little bit too far. It'll be a goal kick for Southern Indiana.
There's a good thought. Get your outside back on an overlap, sneak them through, because you've been sending it directly to the forward so far, and they're now starting to pay a little more attention to Dobrjevich. So if you can get Groves on an overlap, that's money.
So here's the restart. Christie with the goal kick. Southern Indiana trying a deep ball, and it's headed by Lacerda. Goes out of bounds as Groves tried to chase it down. Finessi with the throw-in. Taken away by Schmidt. Schmidt dropped it to Groves, stolen by Southern Indiana. That's McMinn with it in the middle. McMinn sends it up to Matesso. Matesso loses it as Groves comes away with it. Drops it back to Lacerda. Lacerda over to Bacoke. Bacoke back to Lacerda. To Schmidt. Schmidt taking space. Drops it off to Dobrjevich. Sending a long ball to Sudden Sam on the far side. Sam gets a touch. Takes a cross. Ooh. And Jansen, or was that Groves?
That was Jansen.
Jansen just missed it.
Well, he wasn't anticipating the defender missing it, because it was coming right to the defender. It went right through him and snuck right past Jansen.
Sarver with it now, drops it off to Byros, back to Sam. Sam running on, and the keeper comes out. Christie to snatch it away.
Nice thought by Byros. Got the steal, tried to do a quick little give and go with Sam. I like the pressure Akron's putting on right now, and see if ACFC can just keep it going, maybe start taking some shots maybe from distance.
And guess who's coming? Thomas the Train.
Haven't seen him in a couple games.
I hear him. He's tooting his horn. Southern Indiana with the ball.
He's just announcing his presence with authority.
Far hash mark. Up to McMinn. Giving chase is Bacoke and McMinn. McMinn wins the ball. Bacoke dropping back on defense. McMinn puts it in the middle. And it is cleared out by Lacerda. Up to Jansen. Jansen goes to Byros. Byros Sending a deep ball down to Sudden Sam. Sam takes the shot and finds the Sudden Sam post. Sam Sarver, goal! Akron in the 7th minute. 1-0 Akron. Sudden Sam and his favorite post, the far left. Scores another one. There's one for Sam. He needs 3 more.
Byros got that ball at midfield. He had Dobrievich going up the left, Sam going up the right. Take your pick. He could have hit either one of them. And what's interesting, he took more of a direct straight ball to Sam. It would have been more diagonal to Dobrievich, but he put it right on Sam. And what does Sam do? He just finds the back of the net. He knows how to finish.
So in the 7th minute, it's Akron 1, Southern Indiana 0.
Like Chris Berman always used to say, Chris Carter, all he does is score touchdowns. Sam Sarver, all he ever does is hit the Sarver post for the back of the net.
This is Dobrievich coming down the near sideline, working on Finesse. Dobrievich in the middle to Jansen. It's broken up by Southern Indiana and cleared out. Lacerda back up a few feet, misses the trap, controls it.
Dobrievich is having the time of his life over here on the wing. They might have found a mismatch here.
Oh, I would say so, yes. Groves with the ball. Working on Matesso, puts it in the middle to Villa. Villa goes back to Schmidt. Schmidt drops it off to Bacote. Bacote comes wide to Herbert. Herbert with the ball. Back to Villa. Back to Herbert. Waiting for somebody to make a move. Remember, weak side's always open. Byros is standing over here by himself. Lacerda with the ball.
He's the safety net. There you go.
Gives it to Byros. Byros looking. Now sends a deep one to Jansen. Headed away by Southern Indiana. Out of bounds. It should be a throw in for Akron. Groves with the throw in. Drops it back to Villa. Villa sends it across to Schmidt. Schmidt pops it in the middle to Jansen. Jansen shot. Saved by Christie.
Wow. That had some pace on it, and what a great save by Christie.
Villa with it in the middle. Schmidt's calling for it. Villa gets it to him. There's the cross. Dobrievich left foot just a little high.
Wow. What a run by Janis Schmidt. Jansen found him, and then Schmidt, it seemed that was almost like when a hockey skater just keeps going and pulling the stick and pulling it back, waiting, and he finally waited for Dobrievich to come free in the middle, just couldn't get under it, or above it, that is, couldn't keep the ball down.
Southern Indiana with the ball. Sending it deep. Intended for Matesso. Chased down. Villa with it. Drops it back to Bowden. Bowden over to Lacerda. Lacerda. Back to Bowden. Lacerda. Villa. Schmidt. Byros. Byros taking space. Now moving to the far hash mark. Drops it off to Schmidt. Schmidt to Sarver. Sarver makes a turn, taking space into the middle of the field. Tried to send one deep to Dobrievich. Headed away by Southern Indiana. Sarver gets it back on a steal. Making a pass to Byros. There's a chip to Sam, but too far as Christie comes out and squeezes it.
Sam is just like Houdini out here, playing passing lanes. He's not being an attacker right now. He's being almost like a defensive mid that attacks, if that makes sense. He's kind of lurking back as like a free safety, stealing the ball and restarting the counter.
Lecoq to Bowden. Lacerda. Lecoq. Lacerda. Villa, near side. Groves, back to Villa. Villa looking for somebody to run. Sam has moved in the middle, and that far sideline for Herbert is so wide open. There he goes, but they didn't see him. Jansen with the ball. Drops it all the way back to McCoke.
He did have a lot of space on that run,
Oh, my
too.
goodness.
Yeah, nobody looked up to the right wing.
Nope, and he was doubling down.
He kind of walked back with his head down like, wah, wah, wah.
Yep.
You know? Like, wow, you missed me.
Byros with it.
He's out there again.
Yeah, he's out there. He's waving for it, and they're not giving it to him. Sending it in the middle to Villa. Villa with a chip to Sarver. Sarver with it. Comes back into the far hash marks. Drops it off to Villa to Schmidt. Schmidt tried to force his way through. Stolen by Southern Indiana, and he had Herbert off to his right.
They're almost using him as a decoy, the way they're kind of playing him.
Yeah. Matesso sends it long. Picked up by Bowden, gives it off to McCoke. McCoke slowly taking some space. Puts it over to Lacerda. Lacerda to Schmidt. Schmidt calling for somebody to move. It is wide open for Herbert again if he goes. Dobrjevich with it to Schmidt. Byros.
There goes Groves open.
Byros sends it down to Groves on the near side. Groves with it. Tries to cross it into the middle. Picked off by Sarver. Sarver's shot is blocked and is picked up by Herbert. Herbert to Sarver. Sarver drops it back to Villa. Villa over to Schmidt. Schmidt to Groves. Groves crosses into Jansen. And it'll be a goal kick.
As I say, there's bodies in the middle there if he can get it in the mix. He did. Jansen just couldn't get enough on that to get it square towards the target.
Yeah, Herbert doesn't need to give up. He needs to keep coming, because he'll get one.
And he has all day out there. He can have a picnic on that right wing.
Southern Indiana sends it out wide. Header goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Akron. McCoke with it. Working on Matesso. Sends it deep, intended for Sarver. Headed away and picked off by Schmidt. Schmidt off to Byros. Byros drops it back to Herbert. Herbert now drops it back to McCoke. Reset.
Schmidt did a great job there because the center official actually got in his way. He had to kind of do-si-do around him to win that loose ball. Nice work.
Groves. Dobrjevich. Schmidt. Schmidt with the chip. Dobrjevich. Making a couple of moves.
There he is.
Sends it across to Herbert. Herbert making a move. Chipped away. Byros cleans it up. Byros goes back into the middle. Headed out by Southern Indiana. Picked up by Schmidt. Schmidt still with it. Puts it in the middle. And Jansen's shot goes off the goalkeeper. Should be a corner.
Giannis Schmidt has an incredible knack of moving in tight spaces with not much field to work with and still gets the cross into the middle, a dangerous one. He's setting up his teammates for great chances.
Schmidt off the Byros. Byros cross is too deep, and it goes over the touchline for a goal kick.
That was a good thought. That ball just had a little too much on it. I want to keep it maybe more towards the front of the six instead of the back.
So it'll be a goal kick for Southern Indiana. They put it in play. Searching. Sending it out wide. Giannis Schmidt picks it off. Drops it off to Sam. Sam with a heel pass back to Schmidt. Schmidt with a duck inside. Puts it into the middle. Knocked away by Southern Indiana. And then Schmidt rifles one that Christie had the double clutch to save it.
Boy, Christie's keeping Southern Indiana in the game. That's about his third or fourth nice save as Akron City is starting to pepper him.
There's the punt coming down to Matesso and McMinn. But McCoke is there to head it away. Villa settles it. Drops it back to Groves. Groves looking to see if anybody's clear. Lacerda to Bowden. Bowden sending it deep down the far hash mark. Headed away by Southern Indiana. Picked off by Sam. Sam's trying to send it wide to Dobrjevich. Stefan traps it. Moves in. Taking some space. Drops it off to Byros. Byros to Villa. Back to Byros to Groves. Byros. Byros looking for somebody to move. He gives it off to Dobrievich. Dobrievich in the middle of the field. Gives it off to Sarver. Sarver comes across, gives it back to Jansen, back to Sarver. Sarver now sends it out wide to Herbert. Drops it back to Schmidt. Schmidt looking for Sarver, and it is stolen away by Southern Indiana. And they send a long pass downfield. Bacoke lets it go through his legs to Bowden. Bowden up to Lacerda. Lacerda to Byros. Byros back to Lacerda. We're in the 17th minute. It's still 1-0 Akron City. Byros to Bacoke. Bacoke having a little bit of hard time looking into the sun, what little bit of sun we have. That peeks out every now and then. Schmidt with the ball. Drops it back to Lacerda. To Groves. Schmidt. Jansen, Dobrievich, Schmidt. To Groves, and Groves' little flick to Jansen is a little bit too far. Intercepted by Southern Indiana. McMinn with the chest. Cleared out by Lacerda. Sarver chests it down, makes the turn. He's got two guys on him. He loses it as Finessi comes up with it. Sends it out wide. Southern Indiana up to McMinn. McMinn's got Matesso on the left side. Stolen away momentarily by Lacerda, picked up by Southern Indiana. Pass is too deep, collected by Bowden, and Bowden out to Groves.
See if Akron City can't increase this lead here, because it almost just seems like Southern Indiana is just going through the motions here in the first half.
Sam, deep to Stefan. Stefan near sideline. Puts it in the middle to Jansen, taken away by Southern Indiana. Southern Indiana moved the ball up the near sideline, goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Akron. Sarver's over on the near side now with the throw-in. Puts it into Dobrievich, to Schmidt, to Villa, to Byros, to Villa. Villa turns to Byros. Byros out to Herbert. Herbert squares it to Villa. Villa chip to Sarver. Sarver in the middle. Shot blocked by Southern Indiana. Cleared out. Matessa with it. Up to McMinn. McMinn trying to break free, but knocked away by Lacerda. Picked up by Villa. Villa out to Herbert. Herbert back to Villa. Schmidt. Groves. Stefan. Sam. Back to Stefan. Over to Byros. Herbert making a run down the right sideline. Now comes back. Byros. Herbert. Back to Byros. Schmidt calling for it. Drops it off to Dobrievich on the far, or make that Groves who went over to the far side. Went out of bounds, throw in Southern Indiana.
Go back a few plays where Sam got that shot top of the box. I think he actually hit Jansen. Jansen got in the way of it. He blocked the shot.
Southern Indiana throw in. Jana Schmidt was there, tried to steal it, couldn't do it. Now Villa comes over and taps it away, but it's picked up by Southern Indiana. This is Finessi. Finessi up to McMinn. McMinn, turn. Gets by Lacerda momentarily. He's tripped. Ooh. And it's going to be a restart outside the box. Thank goodness.
That's a harsh one.
Well, you know, the center referee hasn't had much to do in this game, and we're 21 minutes in. So I guess, you know, he figures he might have, well, call something.
Well, I mean, McMinn did sell it. He went down hard like he got fouled. So, and it was a case of Lacerda did stick his foot out, but whether there was actual contact, I'm not sure. I didn't see it.
So it'll be a Southern Indiana free kick. There's a two-man wall for Bowden.
This is like a short corner.
Very short. There's the restart. Bowden gets his hands on it, parries it away, out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for Southern Indiana.
That was a dangerous shot because the ball was out a good 8 yards, so he had an angle for a shot to the far post.
Chip into the box, headed out by Lacerda. And we have an offside call, so it's going to be a restart for Akron. Bowden with it. Sends it over to Lacerda near side. Lacerda, Villa. He's got Byros on the left, Schmidt on the right, sending it deep to intended for Herbert. Picked off by Southern Indiana's Maximus Leroy. Southern Indiana with the ball. Sending it up. That was Oxner. Taken away. Here comes Sam down the right side. Sam's cross. Dobrjevich. Oh!
Wow.
Save by Christie. A great foot save by Christie. And it'll be a corner for Akron.
That was great recovery by Christie because Dobrjevich didn't really look like he had the balance to get a shot off, but he did. He settled himself, got the shot on frame. Christie denied him.
Dobrjevich with the service. A little bit too wide, and it'll be a goal kick for Southern Indiana.
Mark Christie's having a great first half. That's a handful of great saves he's had to keep this only 1-0.
McMinn with it. In the middle to Oxner. Oxner taking space, puts it up to Matesso. Matesso into the middle. Knocked away by Lacerda. Lacerda drops it off to Schmidt. Schmidt brings it out to Groves. Groves up to Dobrjevich. Stefan sending it deep to Kelly Jansen. Jansen running onto it. Takes a left-footed shot. A little bit high and a little bit wide.
It was a little ambitious there, but that was a great timed run by Jansen. He started that run well before the ball was played by Dobrjevich, and we've got Akron City players down.
Is that Villa?
Yeah, that's Villa. But Koch looked like he was down for a moment, too, and maybe he was just getting down to Villa's level.
Well, they're bringing the trainer out to take a look at Tommaso. Tommaso's going to walk off the field, so Akron is going to play down a man for this injury right now. We'll see if we have a substitute for Villa. Looks like Childress. Could that be Childress or could that be... We'll have to wait and see. I'm guessing here, folks. We'll have to wait and see. No. So in for Villa is number 23, Nathan Childress for Akron. And we're ready to resume play.
That's unfortunate. In the 24th minute, you lose one of your anchors in the midfield. Hopefully it's just something minor. Just be precautionary taking him out. Great job by Herbert there.
Yeah, great job by Herbert on that one.
That was a borderline bear hug as they were spinning around, and he maintained possession the entire time.
Byros with it. Drops it back to Lacerda. Over to Stefan. Stefan back to Colin. Colin drops it back to Lacerda. Lacerda over to Bacoke. Bacoke sends it up to Byros. Groves sneaking down the left side. Stefan at the hash marks. Byros got plenty of space. Now he makes the chip. Groves trying to run onto it. Quinn has it. Nutmegs the defender. Finesse. Puts it into the middle. Nobody was there.
Couldn't get it past the first wave of defense at the near post.
Byros. Jansen. Shot.
Oh.
Foot save by Christie. And he chases it down.
That almost looked like a self-preservation save there. Like he didn't see it and just kind of turned away and it hit his leg. It popped up right to him.
Christie getting ready to punt. Sends it deep. Intended for McMinn, headed by Lacerda. Childress chases it down. Puts it up to Jansen. Jansen looking to turn. Has it taken away. Shot goes wide. That was number 13 with the shot, Labunga Mateso. And it'll be a goal kick for Akron City.
That's something Akron City's got to be careful of is if Southern Indiana can get up here, get in the attacking third, they're going to take shots from distance, see what happens.
Groves, Byros, up to Childress. Childress turns. Drops it off to Schmidt. Schmidt to Childress. Childress looking to make a chip. Chips it down to Sarver, but Sarver knew he was offside, so he gave up as they waited too long to get it to Sam.
Yeah, he took off. They just didn't give him the ball soon enough.
So Guardians restart.
I thought the Guardians were in Kansas City.
What?
They are in Kansas City this weekend. They lost 3 of 4. Not the Southern Indiana Guardians.
Okay, let's get back to soccer.
I still call them the Indians, though.
Sarver heads it back to Childress. Childress puts it up to Dobrjevich, who comes across to the far side now, taking some space, tries to get it to Sam, checked away by Southern Indiana. Back to Sam now. Sam trying to get outside, and he puts it too far outside, and it's knocked out of play by Southern Indiana.
They're sending bodies at Sarver. They don't want to let him get free.
Schmidt playing with it, taking some space, looking to make a chip, knocked away, picked up by Herbert. Herbert now makes a turn, goes back to McCoke at the midfield stripe. McCoke, Byros, near sideline. Collin, Groves. Groves now taking it inside to Childress. Childress looking for somebody. Puts it over to Schmidt. Schmidt, nice pass to Sarver. Sarver inside to Dobrjevich, and he finds the back of the net. Goal! Akron. Stefan Dobrjevich with the goal in the 29th minute. That's goal number 10 for him. Sarver picked up goal number 8 earlier, and it is in the 29th minute, 2-0 Akron City over Southern Indiana.
That was very unselfish play. Schmidt sprung Sarver on the nice through ball. Sarver could have easily taken a no-angle shot. Instead, he played it in the middle. Dobrjevich came across, had enough time to settle it, put it into the far post. Remember the last game, that was the Dobrjevich. That was the Stefan post when he had a hat trick. So Sam and Stefan are both sharing that post.
They can share the post all game long. I don't care.
2-0.
Yeah. We can make it 3, 4, 5, 6.
Could even be the Byros post if he puts it in there.
Absolutely. Who knows? It could end up being the Bowden post. He might get into the action. You just never know.
Could be the Higgins post.
No, I can't get down there that quick.
No?
No. I don't have wings. Nobody. Duke forgot to bring the Red Bull.
Is that it? Either that or he drank it all.
We got McMinn with it on the near side, taking some space, puts it up to his brother. McMinn taking it down in the corner, tries to get it back to his brother, and goes out of bounds. Should be a throw-in for Southern Indiana. Finessi will throw it in to McMinn. McMinn on the turn, taking some space, tried to get it inside, just past the runner. There's Schmidt with the chip, picked up by Southern Indiana. McMinn with it, sends it across. There's a flick, and it's squeezed by Bowden as that went to Maximus Leroy. Off of his foot to Bowden. Bowden sends it deep, intended for Sarver. Picked off by Southern Indiana. Bringing it up the far sideline. Drops it off. Guardians still with the ball, taking some space. Akron's defense just dropping back. Southern Indiana with it. Shot. Wide. Goal kick. Akron.
Something you got to be careful of if you're Akron, too, is the Guardians are still bringing numbers forward, even though down 2-0. They're going to take those shots from distance. It's good to give them like contested shots. Don't give them open shots.
Dobrievich sends it all the way back to Bacoke. Bacoke turns it up to Childress. Childress with the ball, taking some space. Nathan drops it off to Giannis. Schmidt looking for somebody to make a move. Drops it back to Childress. Childress chases it down, puts it back up to Giannis. Giannis trying to send it deep to Sarver, but it bounced off of Byros as he accidentally got in the way. Christie sends it deep. Schmidt tried to trap it. Execution was poor. Lacerda now chases down the loose ball as it goes back to Bowden. Bowden picks it up, rolls it out to Lacerda. Lacerda, Bacoke. Bacoke in the middle to Schmidt. Schmidt to Childress. Childress over to Byros near side. Collin with the ball. Now drops it back to Lacerda, as Southern Indiana is putting some defensive pressure on Akron. There's a give and go. Groves to Schmidt. Schmidt now sends it up to Dobrievich, and it goes off Southern Indiana's number 5, Andrew Beck, out of bounds for an Akron throw-in. Akron City with the throw-in. Byros was calling for it. Dobrievich with it, sends it in the middle. There's Sarver. Sarver makes a move. Now looking for somebody to make a move. Gives it off to Schmidt. Schmidt with the chip. Dobrievich with the header. Goal! Akron! That was Daniel Lacerda with the header. Came all the way up from his defensive right or left back position and got his head on that chip and put it in the back of the net.
That was pretty. You know, Schmidt got the ball at the near side. He was looking for someone to make a run. And he found bodies in the middle, chipped it in there. Lacerda, a nice little flick on to the far post. And really, Christie didn't have a chance at that one, as well as he's been playing. That one, if that's on goal, that's easy. Easy goal.
So we're in the 34th minute. It's Akron City 3, Southern Indiana nothing. Guardians with the kickoff. Jansen providing token pressure.
Kind of like it when your center back comes up and gets one in for you, too.
Well, as tall as he is, he should be able to do that.
Put the ball on his head, he'll win it.
Daniel's not short in any means whatsoever.
He would not be considered diminutive.
No. So Southern Indiana with the ball on the left side. That's Batesso. Tried to get it up to McMinn. Picked off by Bacoke. Byros playing a little do-si-do. Gives it off to Herbert. Herbert back to Bowden. Southern Indiana, Jansen almost intercepted that ball. Dobrievich putting on pressure. Picked off by Schmidt. Schmidt up to Dobrievich, tried to cut it inside. Southern Indiana player was there to block that pass to himself. And it goes out of bounds, throw in Akron.
They almost had a 3-on-none there. If that ball would have been just a little bit slower, Dobrievich could have caught up to it.
Stefan up to Jansen. Jansen in the middle. Dobrievich, just missed the right post.
Wow, that was some nice work between Jansen and Dobrievich there. In tight spaces, working a nice give and go, and then for Dobrievich to catch up to it and just miss by inches.
Southern Indiana with the ball, moving up the far hash marks, sending it deep to McMinn. There's the offside flag is raised, so it's going to be a free kick for Akron. And they just go ahead and throw it in as the ball did go out of bounds. Center official just let it go. Lacerda up to Groves. Groves to Dobrievich. Back to Groves. Groves back to Lacerda. Lacerda over to Bacoke. To Herbert. Herbert, Bacoke. Bowden. Lacerda. Groves. Schmidt. Dobrievich lost it. Tried to get it back. Picked up by Southern Indiana. This is McMinn with the ball. Taking it down. Cross is knocked away by Groves. Up to Schmidt. Schmidt with it. Looking for somebody. Gives it off to Childress. Childress now goes back to McCoke. McCoke taking space on the far side. Up to Herbert. You got Byros and Sarver together. Back to McCoke.
Akron City's doing a good job, especially in the back and in the midfield, spacing, especially with their width. And they're getting a lot of open looks.
Schmidt up to Byros, or make that Childress up to Byros. Byros taken in the middle, chased by 4 players now. Gets it out to Dobrievich. Dobrievich, his cross into Jansen. Jansen missed it, knocked away by Southern Indiana, and it is picked up by Groves to Childress. Wide to Herbert. Herbert has it. Looking for somebody to do something. Now sends it down to Sarver on the far side. Sam with it. Pokes it back in the middle. Headed out by Southern Indiana. Picked up by Schmidt in the middle. Giannis making a move. Puts it off to Dobrievich. Dobrievich finds the far post for goal number 4. 38-minute mark. Akron 4. Southern Indiana nothing as Stefan gets his second goal of the game and moves him up to 11 total on the season.
That was a nice play. Schmidt with the ball, found Dobrievich, and Dobrievich just looked up. Christie was a little bit shaded to the near post. He gave up the whole wide side of the goal. Dobrievich just passed it into the empty net there. That was probably the easiest goal he'll ever score.
38th minute, 4-0 Akron.
Yeah, just think about it. Back up 9 minutes ago was 1-0.
Yeah.
So 3 quick goals here by Akron City. Let's open this game up.
Southern Indiana taking it up the far sideline, picked off by Herbert. Herbert to Childress. Childress drops it back to McCoke. McCoke sends it wide to Groves. Now it comes up to Dobrievich as Groves double down. There's Dobrievich with the chip to Quinn. Quinn pushes it ahead to Jansen. Jansen cutting it back into the middle. Tried to get it to Sam. Sam couldn't catch up to it. And nobody on the far side came down to pick it up.
That Sam was making a nice run in the middle. Jansen just couldn't find him. Put that a little too far in front of him.
Southern Indiana with the ball, middle of the field. Long pass up to McMinn. McMinn with the flick. Headed away by Lacerda. Lacerda traps it. Bounces it off of Southern Indiana. It'll be a throw-in for Akron. Lacerda will take it. Just drop it back to Childress. Childress is wide open.
Yep. Or I was going to say, if he could chuck one, he could throw it to Byros all the way in the center circle.
Nathan drops it back to McCoke. McCoke up to Byros. Back to McCoke. McCoke wants to go to the other side of the field. So he drops it back to Bowden. Bowden up to Lacerda. Lacerda with the ball. Jansen making a run. Headed away by Southern Indiana. Picked up by Mateso. Mateso with it in the middle. Loose ball collected by Bowden. Childress. Lacerda. Lacerda. Schmidt. Schmidt to Childress. Back to Giannis. Sarver making a run down the right side. Puts it up to Byros. Byros out to Herbert. Herbert now taking space. Down the right sideline. Sends the cross in. Right there is Jansen in the air with the goal. Number 5 for Akron.
Just when it looked like nothing was really going on, they wanted to send a through ball to Sam. They missed him, gave it to Herbert. Herbert just kind of moved his way up the wing, and when he sent that ball in the box, really nobody was there yet. And Jansen kind of snuck in late and he just smashed one.
I thought Superman was in Cleveland.
You think that was Superman-esque?
Hey, he was off his feet, flying in, brought up that right foot, midair, popped it in the net.
It was kind of like the Karate Kid almost, you know?
I would say that was Superman-esque, yes, absolutely. 42nd minute, 5-0, Akron. So Jansen gets in the book.
It kind of looked like nothing was really developing because Herbert went up the wing. I was just about to say, nobody's in the middle for him, but then here came Jansen out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's why I said Superman-esque.
or like maybe Star Trek, he teleported there, you know?
Hey, faster than a speeding bullet.
You know? However it works, you know, he got there.
Schmidt.
And he finished.
With the takeaway, taking space. He's got Sarver into Sam. Sam takes it inside. Keeps going now to the far hash mark. Takes a shot. And it looks like Christie parried it over the crossbar.
I think that one was headed for net, too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Sam wanted one there.
So it's going to be an Akron corner. Schmidt will take the corner. Sends it out to Sam. Sam back to Giannis. Giannis is on sides. Giannis in the middle. Cleared out by Southern Indiana. Lacerda interrupts the play momentarily. Here comes Bacoke. Bacoke takes it away. Sends it out to Sam. Sam, far side. In the middle to Schmidt. Schmidt finds the back of the net on a great pass from Sutton Sam Sarver. Giannis Schmidt, goal number 6 here in the first half against Southern Indiana. A beautiful pass by Sutton Sam, and Giannis knew what to do with it.
Sam and Schmidt, you know, between the two of them, they have both been just eating up that right corner, even off that corner kick. Schmidt played it back to Sarver. Sarver gave it right back to him. Giannis had all day there to play that ball into the box, and then the ball got cleared out, came back, played the ball to Sam. Sam walked in, laid it back to him. It's like these two guys are just on another level.
We're in the 44th minute, 6-0 Akron here in the first half. Southern Indiana with the ball, sends it up to McMinn. McMinn on the near side, looking for some space, taking some space, looking for some help. Now he loses it out of bounds, so it's going to be a throw-in for Akron.
Well, this is what Akron City and their fans wanted. They wanted a game, let's kind of decide it early, you know, and then we can maybe work on some things, get some players some time. But it was a little dicey there for a while. Not until the 29th minute did they get the second goal, but they've erupted since.
Groves. Kelly Jansen. Christie comes out, clears it.
Jansen was a little too anxious there.
So we did have an offside call on the far side. It'll be a restart for Southern Indiana. We'll see how much stoppage time we get in this game.
But other than the goals, the only thing we really had was when Villa was down for a moment, but he got off right away.
Southern Indiana with the ball. Far sideline. Through ball as Bacoke knocks down my buddy Kangzapeso.
You've been waiting to say that.
I have. It'll be a restart for Southern Indiana.
I was wondering if you could go the whole first half without saying it.
No, I had to sneak it in. I'm sorry.
Well done with it.
That's not an easy one, though.
I would just call him Okie.
I probably will for the rest of the game, but I had to say it at least once. Header out by Bacoke. Jansen had it momentarily. McMinn tried to get it in to Batesso. Knocked away by Lacerda. Loose ball picked up by Stefan. Up to Sam. Sam on the breakaway down the far sideline has Groves in the middle. Puts it into Quinn, and Quinn's little check is just wide.
That was a tough one. Sam made the sprint, and it looks like Jansen's a little worn out from that one. He had to have a good stretch. He's got long legs, too. He had to stretch for that one, and he used every inch of his long legs to get a piece of it. Just couldn't get it on frame.
McMahon with it. Picked off by Lacerda. Groves. Childress. Childress to Byros. Byros out wide to Herbert. Herbert up to Sam. Sam takes it inside. Trying to go up the sideline, has it chipped away. Stefan chases it down, gives it off to Sam. Sam with it. Sam over to Kelly Jansen, and Jansen finds the back of the net. I was wondering why he was sitting down there for a couple of minutes. He was just waiting for the ball to come back.
Jansen just took his good time. I mean, I think he might have been a little shaken up after the play, so he took his time coming back. Actually, when Sam got the ball on the right wing, he was 20 yards off sides. So he just kind of hung back, just kind of chilled the far post. The defense didn't know where he was. Sam got in front of him and laid the ball back, so he was behind the play. And, again, Jansen's there at the far post to finish.
Kelly Jansen with his second goal of the game makes it 7-0 Akron. We're in the 46th minute. Should be coming up to halftime here momentarily. As, Jansen held back for the simple fact he was just sitting down from that last run that he had that he almost caught up to for the goal. But he was just sitting down there relaxing, taking it easy. And then he just decided to sneak up when he saw the ball coming. Nice, smart play.
Yeah.
Smart play.
You want to know what's impressive? Sam Sarver, one of the leading scorers, 3 assists tonight.
Yep. That's it. That's the end of the first half of play. Your score, Akron City 7, Southern Indiana 0. We'll be back in a few moments, and we're going to have a halftime report by Logan Congrove with head coach Andy Hogarth. Jansen is down right now in the middle, and one of the trainers is coming out. I wonder if he stretched the groin on that.
I think he did.
Play.
That's how he was slow getting back before he scored that second goal.
All righty, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes, folks. All right, in just a second, we're going to send it down to Logan Congrove with the Summit County Fair halftime report with head coach Andy Hogarth. And we are right now 7-0 in the second, or at halftime. Akron City on top of Southern Indiana. And right now, we're going to turn it over to Logan Congrove for his halftime report with Andy Hogarth.
What's going on, Akron City FC fans? Logan Congrove here down on the sideline with head coach Andy Hogarth. Andy, a 6-0 start to this game. What have you liked so far from the guys?
I think it's 7 now, right?
7-0, excuse me, 7-0. Came down here before the 7.
I think the nice thing is obviously we're a better side, but we haven't just ran through them. We've actually moved the ball around, and that's the one thing we challenge the guys, make sure that we're playing the right way. We're trying to work on things that we're going to need moving forward in the playoffs, and I think we've done that.
What are you liking out of the team that's a bit different? We played the same team on Friday. What have you seen some changes, maybe from both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think we've played a little bit more 2-3 touch, right? I think Friday we obviously struggled to get off the ball, so we went with a little bit of a different attitude. And I think today we just look at Sam there. It's easy for Sam to probably go in and take shots he shouldn't have, but he's putting, set 2-3 assists up, and I think we just played the right way today.
Heading into the second half, what are you looking for out of the guys? Obviously a very lopsided score for now. What can you use the rest of the game for to improve?
We'll make some changes. We'll have a look at some guys a couple of new signings in the squad that we'll look at second half, and then give them the opportunity to show us what they can do.
Thanks, Andy. Back to you guys in the booth.
Logan, thank you so much. Great report. Thanks, Coach Hogarth. And we are at halftime here at Green Street Stadium, John Sistone Field. Score 7-0 Akron City. Kyle, what did you see in the first half?
Well, it was kind of a slow start. Akron City started the game kind of very direct. They were trying to spring Drobievich down the left, Sarver down the right. And then it got to a case where they scored the early goal, 7th minute, sat back a little. They were a little more patient, try and work some give and goes. And it was a case of Mark Christie kept Southern Indiana in the game for the first 25 minutes or so by a handful of nice saves. And then finally the gates started to open. And it was a case of Sam Sarver being very unselfish. He scored the first goal in the 7th minute, but he had 3 assists. Schmidt had a pair of assists. Lacerda had the 1 header goal. Dobrievich had a pair of goals. Jansen a pair of goals. Schmidt threw in another goal himself. And so it's a case of very unselfish play by Akron City. Once they got their rhythm, once they got the flow, one goal after the other, and they really broke down Southern Indiana's will.
Well, that's the way the game is supposed to be played. It's a team game. It's a team concept. You're supposed to have players stepping up, doing things to help other players out, making the other team guess, okay, who's going to be the next guy up that's going to score. So you're making the guessing game on the opponents. Got to come up and try and figure out who it's going to be next. And by moving the ball and passing the ball and being unselfish and having the squad that Akron City has this year with the chemistry and the way the boys know how to play the game, it makes all kinds of sense for Akron to be where they are right now in the league.
Yeah, they've taken advantage of it. They really, the only one game they had this year that they didn't play to this level was against Steel City, unfortunately. So, but every other game, they've shown the pressure, and then they've shown the poise, and they've shown the chemistry to work the ball around, find good looks, and their finishing has really been top-notch this year.
So we're just going to, before we take another break, we're just going to let you know that Akron wins tonight. They have clinched a spot for the playoffs. Chances are it will be hosting a first-round playoff game against either Cleveland, Flower City, or Michigan, because everybody has one more game after this one to play. Steel City will most likely win the division thanks to the 3-3 tie that they had with Michigan today. We can't catch them point-wise. They've got 21. We'll have 21. Well, yeah, we can catch them point-wise. We could end up in a deadlock at 24 points, but they're going to win the division based on the aggregate of them beating us 2-1. So we'll host a second-round game, and that'll be July 10th at 7 o'clock right here at Green Street Stadium. Again, either against Cleveland FC, Michigan Rangers, or Flower City Union. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Once again, the Circle K Stores Crossbar Challenge. And next up, we have the Sergeant Clean Car Wash Kids Run the Field event. Keep on cheering. Once again, Kids Run the Field, presented by Sergeant Clean Car Wash.
All righty, we're back at Green Street Stadium, John Sistone Field on the campus of St. Vincent St. Mary, getting ready for the second half of tonight's game between Akron City and Southern Indiana. Your score right now as we begin the second half is 7-0 Akron City. Well played first half by Akron City. Pedro Faria in the game for Akron City, wearing jersey number 7. Here's a kickoff by Southern Indiana. Dobrievich has moved into the middle. Faria is playing the far side, Sarver on the near side. Schmidt applying pressure. Kicked out of bounds by by Akron. It'll be a Southern Indiana throw-in.
John, you got to wonder how long some of the starters stay in for Akron City here in the second half.
I don't think very much longer, maybe 10, 15 minutes just to get them through the turn and then take your key players out.
Get them through the first hour, maybe?
Give them an hour. Give them 60 minutes to play. And then take them out. Schmidt with the ball near sideline. Moving into the middle, taking some space. Dumps it off to Villa. Villa moving up the field. Now sends it up to Groves. Back to Byros. Byros to Bacoke. Schmidt. Sarver. Schmidt. Deep pass. Dobrievich down the near sideline. He's got Childress, or make that Byros in the middle. Knocked away by Southern Indiana. They come out with it. Dobrievich putting pressure on, sending it deep. McMinn brings it down, being chased by Childress. McMinn up to Leroy. Leroy in the middle. That should be Oxener. Coming down the far sideline, that's Leroy. Being chased by Herbert and taken away by Herbert. Sends it across to Lacerda. Lacerda over to Groves. Groves up to Byros, back to Groves, over to Ferreira. Back to Byros. Over to Lacerda. Byros in the middle to Childress. Drop it back to Bowden. Bacoke. Groves. Byros lost it. Southern Indiana with it. Byros on the steal, trying to get a through ball to Sarver, picked up by Schmidt. Schmidt gets it through to himself, takes a little chip shot, and finds the back of the net. Goal 22, Giannis Schmidt. 49th minute, 8-0 Akron City.
That was a case of Giannis just wouldn't be denied. He wanted to play a through ball. The ball got denied by the defense, came right back to him. He just hustled, won the ball, beat the defender, walked in on goal. Nice little toe poke right into the net. This is his second goal of the game.
This game is kind of reminding me of a first-round high school playoff game.
Similar, yes. You got to give Southern Indiana some credit. You know, the first 15, 20 minutes of the game, they were there. It's kind of a case now. Their will has been broken. They have no subs. Now they're down 8-0, so it's just kind of like playing out the string now.
Southern Indiana with the ball. Near sideline. Up to Leroy. Now Bacoke has it for Akron City. Up to Schmidt. Schmidt trying to play a through ball to Sarver. Picked off by Southern Indiana. That's number 11, Oxener. Sends it out wide to McMinn. McMinn with it, trying to take some space, being harassed by Ferreira. Send it back to Christie. Christie now sends it wide. Drop off to McMinn. McMinn being hassled.
Imagine how ugly this score would be if it wasn't for some of those saves by Christie in the first half.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
I mean, we'd have like a football score up there.
Akron with the throw in. Far sideline. Ferreira with the ball. Drops it back. Comes all the way back to Bacoke. Bacoke in the middle of the field, taking some space. He's got Herbert, was making a run. Tried to get over to Ferreira. Headed away by McMinn. Deep pass to Matesso. Matesso on the far side. Drops it inside to Finessi. And Childress got his foot on it. Shot by Southern Indiana goes wide right. It'll be a goal kick for Akron.
Wow, Oki got an easy look there, and it looked like Bowden was kind of like flat-footed. He was leaning the wrong way. That ball just luckily missed the frame for Akron City. Keep the clean sheet.
Childress with the ball. Drops it back to Lacerda. Bowden over to Bacoke. Bacoke slowly taking some space, puts it into Childress. Childress drops it back to Lacerda. Childress with the ball. Over to Herbert. Schmidt was calling for it. Childress decided to go back to Bacoke. Bacoke sends it up to Herbert, so that must have been Groves on the other side. Herbert coming down the right sideline. Taking it all the way down. Here's the cross right into the hands of Christie as Stefan was trying to run onto the ball. A couple steps late.
No, like Herbert got down there too quick. He didn't have anybody in the middle.
Southern Indiana with the ball. Send it out wide right to McMinn. McMinn traps it. Guardians with it. This is Leroy sending it deep to McMinn. McMinn has it taken away by Lacerda to Herbert. Lacerda back to Bowden. Ty sends it deep, intended for Byros. It's picked off by Southern Indiana. Got about 4 or 5 Akron City players warming up on the far sideline. Should be stepping into the game here shortly. Oki with the ball over to McMinn. McMinn back to Oki. Oki does a split, and Oki wins a foul. As they say, Schmidt tripped him. So it'll be Southern Indiana restart. And the center referee backs it up a yard. Marking off 10. Over the ball is Joseph Finessi for Southern Indiana. Now Maximus Leroy will take the kick. High. Goal kick, Akron.
I always wonder what's in that can. Is it actually shaving cream the official uses to mark the line?
It's some kind of foam, yes. Yeah, usually. If they decide to bring it, you know. I think Barbasol's like 99 cents a can.
That's what I was wondering, you know. If it was Barbasol or maybe, Gillette. I'm not sure.
Gillette's a little bit more expensive.
Oh, okay.
Dobrjevich with it in the middle of the field. Sends it out wide. Centering pass. Byros comes down with it. Southern Indiana clears it out. McMinn with it. Looking to make a move. Childress tap to Herbert. Back to Childress. And now they drop it back to Bacoke. Childress. Byros has it stolen away. Southern Indiana with the ball. McMinn has it chipped away by Bacoke. Picked up by Herbert. Herbert to Childress. Childress on the turn. Sarver calling for it. Childress hits him. Sarver chests it down, loses it to McMinn. McMinn with it, taking space, puts it in the middle. Knocked away by Childress. Schmidt with it. Sends a through ball to Ferreira. Picked off by Southern Indiana. Sarver has it. Sam to Ferreira. Back to Sam. Chipped away by Southern Indiana. Akron comes up with it. Childress with it. Ooh. Sends it back to Byros, and we're going to have a foul called as Finessi took out Childress.
That's a tough call. It's just kind of like wrong place, wrong time there. You know, Childress being in the ball, he tried to get out of the way, but he undercut him.
So Childress will take the free kick. Bacoke and Lacerda have moved up to the front line. You've got Byros, Herbert, and Childress playing defense. That's Bacoke with the chip. Schmidt or Ferreira stepped over it. It'll be Southern Indiana taking it away. Dobrjevich trying to get the ball back for Akron. Dobrjevich stops it, trying to get to it. They're tangled up. Dobrjevich goes down. Southern Indiana comes away with it. Now here's Childress. Sends it out wide to Sam. Sarver making a move. Ferreira calling for it. Sam couldn't get it to him because McMinn was right there.
I'm surprised he didn't give a delayed, take the advantage away and go back to that grab. Sam got grabbed pretty hard there before he tried to cross it.
McMinn gets taken down by somebody's getting a yellow card. Is that Lacerda?
I think
or Bacoke?
So. I think it was Lacerda.
As McMinn goes down, and they have no subs. Southern Indiana on the restart. Have a couple of Akron City players taking off their pennies, getting ready to come in. We've got a couple of new players on the roster tonight. Teddy Tagliotti and Nathan Ferguson. We'll see if they get in the game. Restart by Akron. Lacerda will take the restart. And we're going to have at least 3 subs coming in for Akron. Dobrjevich is going off. Byros is going off. And it looks like Quinn Groves is going off for Akron. As soon as we get the Akron players' numbers, we'll let you know who they are. One is 24. Have no idea who that is. That could be Tagliotti. Ferreira with the ball. Schmidt with the chip. Looks like Tagliotti is running onto it, but we're going to have a foul called as he knocks over the Southern Indiana defender. And we'll let you know who the other players are as soon as we can gather their numbers. Number 11 is in the game. That's Glory Sir. He played in a little bit in the game last week. And we have a number 14. That should be Isaiah Coleman in the game as well. Southern Indiana with the ball. Picked off by Akron. Jansen to Ferreira. Ferreira up to Schmidt. Tried to get it back to Ferreira. Picked off by Southern Indiana. McMinn with it. Near sideline. Finessi with it on the far side. Now sends it back to McMinn. McMinn trying to make a move. Gets it into Finessi. Finessi working on Childress. Back to McMinn. McMinn works it back. Puts it over the touchline for an Akron goal kick. Providing the pressure on that. Looked like to be Isaiah Coleman. Bowden on the restart. Couple more players coming in for Akron. Number 12, that should be our buddy Carter Cormier. Now into the game. Replacing Akron with the ball. Cormier back to Bowden. Bowden trying to send it wide. Coming to it is Herbert. Herbert being pressured by two Southern Indiana players. Clears it up to Ferreira. Don't know if we got a throw in or a restart down here. We got a restart for Akron. So 24, I have been told, is now Nathan Ferguson. So 24 is Nathan Ferguson for Akron, not Tagliotti. McMinn with it. And we're going to have another foul on Akron.
See, this is something we got to be careful of here. You know, the game's well out of reach, and now look, now we got, all right, this is what we don't want.
Okay, it's time to pull your key players out of the game.
Yeah, Herbert needs to just like take a step back.
So does Schmidt.
Well, Schmidt was trying to play peacemaker. Herbert kind of get in there.
Well, actually,
he wasn't happy with what happened.
Well, Schmidt jumped in because he was questioning the center referee's call.
Right.
And then he got pushed by number 3, Finessi, and then it started to go from there.
Now the official is just kind of throwing yellow cards everywhere. Look, he just gave one to McMinn. Aaron McMinn. I'm surprised Herbert got away with not getting one there. He got in there. He got a little physical in there. I understand he's protecting his player and protecting his captain, but he did a little bit extra. So he got his money's worth out of no card. Hopefully cooler heads will prevail. We're already past the hour mark. We've seen a couple subs come in now for Akron City. So let's just play out the string, get everybody out of here healthy, get ready for the playoffs.
Oh, we got one more game.
Well, I didn't say we're at the playoffs yet. I said
Okay.
get ready.
Okay. So Oxener will take the restart for Southern Indiana on the near side as the center official gets everything sorted out. Oxeter is looking at the far official when he should be looking at the center official on the restart. Sends it in the middle. Picked off by Schmidt. Schmidt sends it up. Oof. Nice save by Christie on Sir's pass into the middle from the far side. Ferguson and Schmidt. Ferguson with the chip. Gets it up to number, is that Groves playing in the middle?
No, that's Sir up top.
17?
That's 11.
That's 11?
Yeah. Groves went out on the sub.
Okay. Matesso with the ball on the right side, sends it in the middle. Bowden on the dive, smothers it. We're in the 65th minute, 8-0 Akron City over Southern Indiana. Schmidt with it. Ferreira back to Giannis. Out wide to Ferguson. Ferguson to Sarver. That guy needs to come out of the game. Not taking it away from Sam, but he's too valuable to be in the game at this point in time.
Yeah. If anything, just play short if you don't want to sub for him. There's another one that you got to keep an eye on. Schmidt. He's taking some knocks this game. He's got up a little slow from a few of them. I think he just took one to the noggin there. Yeah, and it's going to cause a yellow. This goes back to the play before that caused a little fricas.
That's Finessi picking up the yellow.
Finessi and Schmidt kind of like had a little bump, and so now Finessi during run of play runs into him and kind of gave Giannis a shot to the chops.
McCoke with it, telling everybody to kind of move up a little bit. So Ferguson's going to move up. Sarver staying right where he's at. Center official still chatting at Finessi. Schmidt with the ball. McCoke taking a run. Chip by Schmidt. Kicked out of bounds by Southern Indiana, so it'll be a throw-in for Akron. McCoke gets taken down in the box. It'll be a penalty kick for Akron as McCoke got mugged in the penalty box.
And I love the reaction.
That's
by Maximus Leroy.
Yeah,
he's just throwing his hands up like, what? What'd I do?
Well, he was claiming that McCoke was holding him from, wrapping his arms around him from behind, so he just decided to spin him around and put him down, which is the wrong thing to do in the box because now, with everything that's been going on, center official is going to start calling everything really tight.
Yeah, and that was clearly in the box. That was a good 5 yards in. It
absolutely.
wasn't like right on the border or anything.
So this should be McCoke on the restart for the penalty kick, and he finds the back of the net. No, take that. That's number 11. That's Nate Ferguson with the goal for Akron on the penalty kick. And it's now 9-0 Akron City in the 68th minute.
I think it's pot luck with the jersey numbers if we can get the names right.
Yeah. Well, you bring it on. Every week we seem to be bringing on some new people.
Well, but then they change jerseys every week, too. That doesn't help.
And it just, it makes it hard because we don't know who they are. We've never met the gentleman before. So we're guessing with the rest of the people. So that was Nathan Ferguson with the goal. Finessi with it. Tried to get it to a streaking McMinn. Picked off. This is Childress. Sends it out wide to Coleman. Coleman and Childress and one of the Southern Indiana players gets tangled up, and it's going to be a restart for Southern Indiana. That might have been Montesso over there.
I love how the referee put a line down and no one's even making a wall.
There's the service. Bowden on the stop. Gets run into by the player as he tried to hurry up his kick, and the player ran into him.
That's tough by Hayther. He's just running to get back and wrong place, wrong time, and wow, he's going to get a booking for that. That's a tough booking. That should almost kind of be like a blow the whistle, do a drop ball back to the keeper kind of thing. No harm, no foul. His intent was not to block the shot, block the kick or anything. there's wrong place, wrong time. That's unfortunate for him, but he's in the book now.
I don't know why Bowden wanted to get the play restarted that quickly.
Yeah,
he should have just waited and made sure everybody was out of the box.
He was in a hurry to do a counter.
That's
He wants to get the 10th goal, obviously.
That's one of the first things I learned when I played goal. Wait till everybody's out of the box. So you always got to have your head on the swivel.
Did you see the one the other day where the forward was taking a drink outside and the keeper was holding it, everybody's out, and he just kind of snuck behind him like a cat pouncing on a mouse as soon as he put the ball down, stole it, and scored?
Smart.
Oh, completely.
Smart.
Total Houdini act. But as a keeper, you got to know he's there.
Leroy with the ball, sends it in the middle to McMahon. McMahon wanted a handball. That's Fidesi now, sends it out to Matesso. Matesso with the ball, brings it down, and it is over the touchline for a Akron City goal kick.
Good defense by Coleman there. He used every bit of his body to get in front of him, force him wide, and force the ball out of touch.
Restart. Schmidt, far sideline. Sends a deep ball to Sam. Sam with the ball. Coming inside, has it taken away. Southern Indiana with it on the far sideline. It'll be a throw-in for Southern Indiana. New player coming in for Akron City. Number 16. So Southern Indiana with the ball. Coming up, deep pass, and yeah, he's offside by about 5 yards.
That's all?
Yeah.
You got to love it as a keeper when you get on the field.
So that's Omi Nairmi, number 16, playing the field. He is the backup keeper for tonight's game. But guess what? He's going to show off what he's got talent-wise.
Well, and you got what you wanted. Sarver gets a rest for the rest of the game.
Smart move. Bacoke sends it wide to Cormier. Cormier up. There was a chip and a little bit of miscommunication there. Bacoke with it. We got a foul called. So, all right, so 11 is Ferguson, correct?
Sure.
Have we figured out who 24 is yet? I still say that's got to be Tagliati.
Sure.
Okay. That's what we'll go with.
You could call him Higgins.
No.
Is that a long-lost cousin?
Higgins ain't that good.
Oh, tough crowd.
Higgins never played the field when he played soccer. He was one of those smart guys that always played goalie because he didn't like to run.
Ah.
So, yeah. But Coke in the middle. Picked off by Southern Indiana. This should be Montesso. Nope, that's Finesse with the shot, and it is smothered by Bowden.
Keep that clean sheet.
Rolls it out to Schmidt. Schmidt on the turn to Bacoke. Bacoke to Schmidt. Off to Herbert. Herbert taking space. Ferreira drops back. Heel pass to Ferreira. Tries to get into Schmidt. Giannis gets it up to Tagliati. Outside to Herbert. Herbert with it. Sends it in to Schmidt. Schmidt dummies it to Ferreira. Ferreira with the shot. Finds the back of the net. Goal! Akron. Number 7. Pedro Ferreira with goal number 10.
Wow, that was a nice left foot.
Ferreira with a rocket. 75th minute, 10-0 Akron.
Well, when you're a sub and you come in and you get your chances, you're going to shoot from 25 out, especially
Absolutely.
when you're open. That was a well-struck left foot right in the corner.
75th minute, 10-0 Akron. As Southern Indiana kicks off. They always say home field is a nicer place to play. We beat them 5-1 up there. It's 10-0 here.
Well, the big thing, too, along with all the goals, is the goose egg.
Yes. Faria, Schmidt, Ferguson. Left shot is blocked by Bacoke.
He's used to blocking shots. It's not his own teammates.
It'll be a goal kick for Southern Indiana. Bacoke was coming across on a square, and Ferguson wound up, and Bacoke was right there to block it.
Does that go into his stats? It's a block shot?
Yeah, sure. Matesso with it to Finesse. Finesse trying to hit Matesso. He's got speed coming down the right side. There's the centering pass, and it's cleared out by Herbert over to Coleman. Now Schmidt has it. Giannis looking for some help. He's got Herbert coming out on the right side, which is the near side. Herbert with it.
That was a nice defensive play by Herbert earlier on that cross in the middle.
Herbert coming down the right side now. He's got it. Taking some space, puts it in the middle. There's Faria again, partially blocked. Picked up now by Coleman. Coleman's going to wind up, and it's blocked again by Southern Indiana. Coleman comes down with it off the chest, drops it back. Goes all the way back now to Childress. That was Cormier back to Childress. Now Childress to Schmidt. Schmidt has his pass intended for Tagliotti. It's knocked away. There's a through ball to McMinn. McMinn on the streak, or make that great save by Bowden as he came all the way out and stopped Oxner on the shot. Faria. It's out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Akron.
That was a tough one there for the defense. Is McMinn snuck behind him, but Bowden, great job. Come out, make himself big.
Herbert with it near side. Takes it inside. I knew what he was trying to do to it, but didn't execute it quite well.
Yeah, they
Christie.
weren't on the same page, he and
Yep.
Yanni. That's a keeper, though. You got to remember.
I understand.
He was probably just ready to run to goal. He wasn't ready to run to the corner there.
Well, he just has to remember he can't use his hands either.
Or that too.
Southern Indiana with it, far sideline. McMinn in the middle to Oxner. Oxner. Finesse streaking in the middle. And that's Matesso on the right side. Over the touchline for an Akron goal kick. 79th minute, 10-0 Akron. Bowden taking his time to set it up for the goal kick. Coming wide to Herbert. Herbert has it kicked out of bounds by Leroy. Herbert on the throw in. Childress sends it all the way back to Bowden. Bowden over to Cormier. Back to Bowden. Childress. Herbert. Tagliotti. Broke it up by Oki.
See?
I've said it once. It's Oki from here on out.
Yes. So much easier to say Oki.
Loose ball picked up in the middle by Finesse. Finesse. Outside to shot taken by number 13. That's Matesso. And it is squeezed by Bowden.
Akron City's given up now too many opportunities here late. So let's just see if they can just secure the ball, play a little possession, keep the ball away from Southern Indiana.
Childress.
Final 10 minutes.
Herbert. Childress. Faria. Taken down by Finessi. Restart Akron. Schmidt with the ball. Now they want another, center official wants another restart.
Well, that's good for Akron City because they're going a little too quick. Take your time. Use as much time as you can. You don't need to have quick restarts.
Schmidt with it. Chests it down to Herbert. Herbert just plays it back to Childress. Childress back to Bowden. Finessi supplying some pressure. Childress. Herbert taking space. Coming down the near sideline. Crosses. Headed by Southern Indiana. Faria. Shot just wide. It'll be a goal kick for Southern Indiana.
You can't give him a free look from the top of the D. He's going to take a shot all day long. He just didn't quite get a good connection on that one.
Leroy Tagliati with the header. Faria. Coleman. Coleman on the turn, taking space. Left-footed shot goes just wide. It'll be goal kick, Southern Indiana. Ferguson was sneaking in.
I like how the subs, they want to get in the scorebook.
Sure, why not? If I could play the field, I wanted to get a scorebook too. McMinn, far side. Matesso. Deep ball to Finessi. Cormier supplying pressure. Finessi taking it inside. Cormier with him. There's the chip, cleared out by Childress. Picked up by Oxner. Oxner working on Faria. Faria tried to sneak it in, picked off by number 11, that's Oxner.
Ooh.
And there's a major takedown.
That's a second yellow, too.
And that's red.
Yeah. That was a bad foul by Hather.
Yes, Musa Hather gets the red. So to make matters worse, Southern Indiana now plays the final 8 to 10 minutes, a player down.
Yeah, that's one of those fouls that in a game like this you hope doesn't happen, but frustration is going to loom its ugly head. 10-0 game. And, I guess he's just going to go right to the locker room. He wasn't going to go to the bench. You don't want to see fouls like that because you don't want to see the health of a player be at risk. That was a hard foul against Faria. He took it in stride, though, and popped right up, but that was a necessary yellow, and he was already in the book.
So Akron on the restart. Herbert, near sideline, takes it inside. Puts it into Nairmi. Nairmi goes wide to Coleman. Coleman with it, taking space, almost too far ahead of him. Picked off by McMinn. McMinn looking for somebody. Sends it up to his brother. On the turn, he's got Matesso. Matesso is now signaled for being offside. It'll be a restart for Akron.
Looked like McMinn was originally offside, too, when he first received the ball. So maybe the AR thought about it. He's like, well, I got to get somebody here.
Herbert. Near side. Drops it back to Tagliotti. Childress. Wide to Cormier. Cormier with it. Trying to send a through ball to Tagliotti. Picked off by Oxner. That's Leroy. Deep ball to McMinn. McMinn being chased by Bacoke. McMinn trying to make a couple of moves. Bacoke takes it away. Now taken back away by Oxner. Finessi tried to hit Matesso. Matesso was a little late, and it'll be a goal kick for Akron.
Give credit to Southern Indiana. Here they are now down a man, down 10-0. They're still creating some opportunities here and causing a little havoc in the Akron City backline.
86th minute, 10-0 Akron. Cormier, Childress. Comes out wide to Herbert. Back to Childress. This should be Bacoke. Schmidt in the middle to Nairmi. Nairmi to Ferguson. Ferguson out wide to Coleman. Or is that Faria? Nairmi. Faria as Coleman has moved inside. Faria now trying to send it across the field, picked off by Finessi. Schmidt providing pressure. Coleman is there. Faria comes away with it where we're going to have a foul called. It'll be a restart for the Guardians. '87th minute, 10-0. Oxner near side. Leroy. McMinn.
Yeah, I was going to say, here comes a booking for Bacoke.
Bacoke gets a yellow.
McMinn did a nice little flick, got it around him, and Bacoke tried to swap jerseys during the game there, it looked like. And you got to wait till after the final whistle to do that.
Yeah. So it'll be Oxnard standing over the ball when we have the restart by Southern Indiana.
I love Bacoke's reaction just now. He just kind of threw up his hands again, like, what?
All righty. Barbasol's been sprayed on the field.
Get that clean shave.
Yeah, buddy. Oxner. Childress. Off of him. To Bowden. Bowden with a deep kick. Trying to hit Nairmi.
I think Bowden wants to get an assist to his other keeper.
Why
That's
not?
what it is.
Why not? Schmidt. Across. Coleman finds the back of the net, but we have an offside call.
Unfortunate.
Offside on Coleman to restart for Southern Indiana. Oki with it in the middle, picked off by Childress. Childress to Schmidt. Schmidt sends it wide to Nairmi. Nairmi chips it into the middle. Defended by Southern Indiana. This is Leroy with it. Trying to get it to McMinn. Bacoke had it taken away by Oki. Up to McMinn. Childress chasing it down. Sends it back to Bowden. Bowden retreats. Gets a little space. Chip. Oki and Herbert are fighting for it. Oki comes away with it. In the middle to Finessi. Finessi on the turn. Backheeled by Childress. Sends it up to Faria. Faria tried to chip it to Nairmi. That's Oxner. Finessi. The other McMinn. Shot is high. Goal kick Akron.
Take your time. Use a few seconds here. No tie, no rush. Although he puts the ball into play right away.
Akron with the ball. Trying to get it out wide to Nairmi. Schmidt not happy with that play. Oxner working on Tagliati. Oki, spin move. Puts it in the middle to Finesse. Offside. Restart Akron.
I think the official's just going to let it go since Bowden got it. And there he goes.
Deep pass down to Nairmi on the side. He chips it. Goal!
He got it.
Akron. Omid Nairmi with the goal. Assist to the other keeper, Ty Bowden. It's 11-0 in the 90th minute for Akron City.
That's a rarity. Keeper to keeper.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, that was a nice, quick restart. I don't know if it's something you really want to do in a 10-0 game, but hey, I guess if that's the time you're going to do it, that's when you're going to do it.
That's the end of the game. Final whistle has been blown. Akron City 11, Southern Indiana nothing. We'll be back with a wrap-up in just a moment.
Tickets will be on sale very soon at AkronCityFC.com.
All righty, we're back at Green Street Stadium, John Sistone Field. Final score, Akron 11, Southern Indiana nothing. Play of the game, the last play of the game. Ty Bowden to Omid Nairmi, goalie to goalie, with Nairmi putting in the back of the net on the chip over Christie.
You got to love it. Keeper to keeper. They're both in the books, both in the scorebook.
So Akron moves on. They clinch a playoff spot for the first time in team history, year number 3. As they will play either Flower City Union, Cleveland FC, or Michigan Rangers on Wednesday night, July 10th at 7 o'clock, right here at Sistone Field. We won't know until next weekend what the result will be as to who we're going to play. But Flower City Union and Michigan and Cleveland are all sitting right there at around 16 points. We now have 21. So does Steel City. But Steel City has the advantage on the aggregate of the 2-1 win over Akron. So we can't win the conference, but we can take second place in the conference and host that first round game on Wednesday night, July 10th.
And that's just a bonus for Akron City this year. It's just been a year of firsts. You know, most wins, most points, first playoff appearance, now first hosting playoff appearance. And it's just sky's the limit for this team. Just keep playing the way they do.
Great game tonight. A lot of people figured into the final score of 11-0, as you very well know. Sarver with 3 assists and a goal. Stefan had a couple of goals.
And a couple of assists.
Yep, Jansen had a couple of goals. Faria got one coming in as a sub. Of course, Nairmi on the goalie-to-goalie situation there at the end.
Dobrievich had a couple of goals first half.
Yep. So everybody got involved. The whole team got involved. Jonas Schmidt had a goal or two. A couple of assists. Great play. Controlled the middle like he usually does, him and Villa. Unfortunately, Tommaso will have to leave in the first half due to a minor injury. I'm sure he'll be ready. Akron moves on to take on the Erie Commodores on July 6th, I believe. That's a Saturday night game. Should be a 7 o'clock start over there at Erie. The Commodores have tied Steel City twice this year, 1-1 and 2-2.
Unfortunately, they couldn't get one extra one in there to help out Akron City.
Yeah. So that'll be next Saturday night, 7 o'clock. It'll be Akron City taking on the Erie Commodores, and we're getting ready for the Summit County Fair end of the game report from Logan Congrove and head coach Andy Hogarth. And we'll turn it over to Logan right now.
We're good. Akron City FC fans, 11-0 the final here at Green Street Stadium. I'm standing by with head coach Andy Hogarth. Andy, what a victory. You clinch a spot in the playoffs. You clinch a home game in the playoffs. What does that mean for you for the first time in our club's history?
Yeah, I think that's what Nick, our owner, puts a lot of time and obviously financial help in for us. So I think to get that as a home game for the city and for the ownership is huge, right? You know, I think we felt all along that we could, definitely be a team that would be up there at the top of the league, and I think the guys have achieved it now. So, I think the big thing now is we go to Erie next week, and I think if we get a win, regardless, we'll end up tied for points with Pittsburgh if they win out. So, to be not just get a home seed, but be tied for number one in the league will be huge for us.
You can look at the score all day long, 11-0, but let's talk about some of the role players that you tried out today. Heading into the second season, you could call it. What did you like out of the guys that you're seeing minutes from for the first time, maybe?
Yeah, I think obviously we saw Teddy come in and give us 15, 20 minutes there at centre back. I think that's one position that we don't have a lot of depth at right now, right? So obviously seeing that, and just I think all the guys came in and did a little bit of work for us that we're positive. So. And
then finally heading into the playoffs, how do you feel that our club stacks up against the rest?
I think the two teams, obviously we beat Cleveland second game, lost them. I think we haven't had the chance to play Steel City again. So I think we, if we have a full squad and we train well and we get the mentality right, then I think we can compete with anybody. So really confident with it.
Thank you, Andy. Congrats.
All righty, thanks, Logan. Thanks, Andy. Once again, final score here at John Sistone Field as we wrap up the home schedule for the regular season. Akron City 11, Southern Indiana nothing. Kyle, anything you want to add?
Bring on the playoffs.
We're ready. Hope you are. July 10th, 7 o'clock. That's a Wednesday night right here at John Sistone Field. Akron City will be hosting somebody, and we'll wait until the end of next weekend's games to find out who that is. So make arrangements right now. Tickets will be going on sale online here shortly. Now that we know that we clinched it, they'll be available to you online here within the next few days. So mark it on your calendars. July 10th, 7 o'clock. It's Wednesday night right here at John Sistone Field. Akron City football in playoff competition. And we got to go home, go up to Erie and knock off the Commodores on Saturday night. Folks, have a pleasant evening. We'll see you.